David can even speak if you want to listen to David's anarchist ideas or agnostic or atheist ideas. As I've said it before, this is democracy. That is what it means. That is what. And when anybody says to you in a hotel, when you're speaking, when you've got a right to be heard, no matter what the argument is, you have that right. When someone tells you to shut up, they're denying you your right to exercise your right to argument, because I say something, it doesn't necessarily say it's right.
That's for sure. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the bloody truth?
Smart. I could say
that's the most honest thing you've said all day.
I could say something else.
And that's the most honest thing you've said all day.
You're trying to be smart and you're trying to put my argument down. I know what you're trying to do.
No, I'm just saying, when you said just because you say something doesn't make it true, I'm saying that is actually pretty spot on, you know?
Well, you pretend to be a speaker, you go over there and get people to take cameras.
I don't pretend I am a speaker.
And you're not even a public speaker.
I don't pretend I am one. What are you talking about?
I said, and I will say it again, the Rainbow Warrior, the episode going on in the South Pacific with the humpback whales, the minke whales, I'm saying that the Australian man who turned around and told the Japanese, you're not getting an apology, you know what you can do? You'll be waiting a long time because there'll be no apology to Japan. No apology at all. The Japanese...
Yeah, because you're a racist, that's why. You're a racist against the Japanese.
Don't put the race
you are. You're always against the Japanese.
Condemned the Japanese because they are saying that they're going to kill so many whales, and the world has said, and the peace movement has said no. And the Japanese said, right, we'll let you go if you apologise. Sorry, Japan, you're getting no apology. I've never known Australians to apologise when they're right. On this issue, they're right. They said that the Australians tried to pirate.
Well, they did. They jumped on the ship. Didn't you see the news?
And what
the two people jumped on his ship.
And what are the Japanese
They're fishing, just like we do. They're fishing. They're fishing like everybody else does.
This idiot over here. He's condemning an Australian and an Englishman because they resorted to protecting
or mammals, actually. But it's the same principle. We fish.
Turned around. Kevin Rudd, the Prime Minister of Australia, said he would defend Australia's action. He's done nothing. He's done absolutely nothing. Even the Americans are defending.
Well, what do you want him to do? Start a war? Do you want him to start a war over a couple of whales? Give us a break.
In the Auckland Harbour, when they sank the Rainbow Warrior and killed New Zealand, I am saying to Japan, we haven't forgotten that argument. This time, the people who are protecting the minke and the humpback whale are right. They are right. And they're not wrong. No matter of the abuse on 3AW and 2UE in Sydney, are they terrorists and all this garbage? They have guts. And this is where it's coming from.
Now listen, if they're so concerned about fishing, why don't they stop the fishing that happens in Port Phillip every day? You know what I mean? It's pretty selective. They only want to protect the pretty animals or the pretty mammals like the whales, but they don't mind setting mouse traps around the house and killing cockroaches. It's ridiculous.
You know, for God's sake, he knows.
No, they say like they're animal activists, but they eat fish every day and everyone else eats fish, but all of a sudden you can't eat a whale. Of course the United Nations is wrong. The United Nations is always wrong. You just take the opposite position and you know you're on the right side.
The Japanese government has the audacity to demand...
To go fishing. Oh, what audacity? To go fishing in the Southern Ocean. Oh, audacity, is it?
It's a long way from Japan.
Look, we eat kangaroos, we eat all sorts of animals, so don't get on your high horse about how it's so bad to eat animals.
I've done my homework. I can remember what the Japanese government did in 1941.
Yeah, so here we go.
Very, very nice.
Your antagonism is based on the World War II issue.
I can remember what the Japanese government with Weary Dunlop in Burma, in Malaya, in Singapore, Hong Kong. So don't lecture.
That's right. So finally you've admitted the root of the argument against them.
You are committing a terrible crime against the whaling.
What are you talking about?
Receive no apology whatever from the Australians.
No, your aggression is based on your grievances over World War II. That's the whole issue. You try to make it sound like it's about the whales, but it's really because you don't like the Japanese.
In Malaya. What do you think they did to Australian war?
Look, all countries did that during war.
Let's hear the dirty law. The Liberal Party won't hear it, but we'll hear it. You know, when you come from a military family, I'm hearing because the RSL said nothing, as usual. They're running and hiding in cupboards. Weary Dunlop and a few other soldiers watch their mates being murdered and beheaded and tortured. And that is...
So what are you saying? Australia's never killed people? Australians have killed people during war as well. All people kill people during war. That's what war's about. So don't go there getting selective and saying, oh, the Japanese did atrocities. Every country does atrocities during war.
We haven't forgotten Nanking, and we know what the Japanese did in Manchuria. We know what they did in China, and they never said they were sorry.
Why should they say they're sorry? They've got a nuclear bomb dropped on them, and you expect them to say sorry to other people? You're kidding yourself.
I'm not kidding myself. I'm saying if it hadn't been for those Australian soldiers, you wouldn't be bloody standing.
If it hadn't been for the US soldiers, idiot, the US Army is the people that saved us.
Here, giving the cheek that you're giving now.
No, get up, you high horse. Look, all I'm saying is all countries, all wars involve people killing each other. You can't get on your high horse and demand an apology.
I know that.
But it's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting. You're not really concerned about the whales. You just want something to attack the Japanese over. Well, it's true. You only want something to be against the Japanese over. So you find a little situation and you think, oh, let's make the Japanese look bad. That's your whole argument.
In the South Pacific region.
No, it's not.
They did the same in Somalia.
Look, it's a free ocean. It's not our ocean, despite what we say.
In New Guinea, they did the same thing. The Japanese turned around and have committed the wrong. They're saying that Australia should not do what they're doing to the ships which are in the ocean at the moment in the South Pacific region because they've got to experiment.
So what are you going to do about it? Do you want us to have a war over it? Do you want us to have a war over a couple of minky whales? Is that your point? Well, what are you going to do then?
Japan won't go.
Diplomacy's not going to get you anywhere.
You won't have to worry. You won't have to wear the uniform, so don't worry. But you stand up there like a Boy Scout, and he turns around and wants to excuse Japan and says it's racist. Japan never apologised. Never apologised.
Well, why should they?
Australia when they bombed Darwin. His memory is very, very short.
Well, did we apologise for shooting Japanese submarines in Sydney Harbour? No. You don't apologise after a war, you idiot.
In the Commonwealth of Australia's not forgotten, and we haven't forgotten what the Japanese government stands guilty as charged for genocide.
What are you talking about?
Southeast Asia, Burma, India, Pakistan, where the Japanese committed aggression against Southeast Asia. So don't come here with your exaggerated, concocted fairy tales to try and infer that the Australians are committing a racist argument.
Now you're being racist, and your whole source of your anger against, well, your whole reason for being angry against the Japanese is rooted in World War II politics. That's what it is. It's nothing to do with the whales.
Getting big whales and cutting them up and saying we're to experiment.
Well, that's their traditional fishing methods, isn't it?
We'll go down and tell the Chinese when the Japanese were in Manchuria.
Well, look, how would you like it if the Japanese started telling you you can't eat cows anymore? Or if Muslim countries started telling you you can't eat cows anymore?
In Nanking, the Japanese government committed atrocities against the Chinese people in Shanghai, in Hong Kong. We've done our homework too in Southeast Asia, and we know the history of what the Japanese government's militarists were capable of doing. Emperor Hirohito Nori, and not the present Emperor of Japan, the rising sun, was guilty of the atrocities committed.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, it's time now, isn't it, Gary? Right. This meeting is closed till next week, which is Australia Day, and as you know, a lot of people will be demonstrating because the Aboriginals don't recognise the right of Australia. They believe in this Invasion Day. I can tell you their whole argument. They don't recognise it. The Aboriginals of Australia, Indigenous people, or whatever you like to call them, Kooris or Aboriginals, from the Western Australia to WA, from WA right up near Cairns and Alice Springs, right up to the top of Darwin, do not recognise Australia Day as a national day. Now, that is not a lie, that is the truth, and you know it. You know it.
I know.
Don't try and question me over whether it's a loyal day or not.
Well, what's your opinion on it?
I beg your pardon?
What's your opinion on it?
You taking that car? I told you last week that's illegal what you're doing.
No, it's not. It's a public place.
He goes around doing, I'll tell you what he does.
No, don't make up shit. Don't make up shit.
Putting underneath the dresses.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. Don't make up shit. Don't make up shit. No, I'm not. That was someone at the tennis. I think you read the newspaper wrong again. That was someone at the tennis.
Next Sunday is concerned, it will be next week, and as you know, Australia Day is a public holiday. Thank you.
Daniel.
Thank you.
Daniel.
Get Dave up here.